blessed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Shai. We want to give all the praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakodash. Double honor to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. And much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and this truth and sincerity. And, you know, we're going to go into a lesson here on this article on the Charagma, you know, as we continue to draw closer to the coming and the day of the Lord. You know, we see these things accelerating. All right, and so like I'm just trying to get this on the TV here. All right, so you know, as we get closer to the day of Yahweh Hashem Shai, we see things being revealed more and more, you know, and things are becoming more and more clearer unto those that believe, unto those that understand, you know, and you know, the will of the Heavenly Father is becoming more clear. All right, so just real quick to get into it. Matter of fact, brothers, get Habakkuk chapter 2. Just hold that on deck. The name of this article is entitled, "This Big Development in China is Setting Up the World for the Charagma of the Beast." Okay? So, as we've seen, and as we've read, was that 2nd Ezra chapter 15. It talks about woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia. If a brother wants to get that real quick. Okay? Because America is not, America, which is Babylon the Great, is not the only place that is going to be judged. All right. Now, the beast system is going to be what's implemented to the four corners of the earth. But all these nations are implementing the same system. Now, they're showing you under the guise of these other nations being against each other, but really they're working for the same goal. It's just they're fighting for who's going to have the upper hand. Okay, this is really what the big thing is. Okay, get that in Habakkuk.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
Go ahead.
And the Lord Yahweh shall answer me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Right, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. This is what we do when we do these videos, man. We're making the things plain, okay, of what the prophecies are talking about. What the Lord is speaking, basically. We're making it very easily understood. We put the pictures, we put the videos, we upload articles, okay, we go precept upon precept, line upon line. We break it, we make this very easily, we break this very easy through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Shai for it to be understood. So that he that heareth may run. Run to do what? Or run where? Run that you may obtain the prize. The prize of what? Salvation. Because the times that's coming up, you know, here on the planet Earth, not just in America, but on the planet Earth, it's going to be a time that you're going to need salvation. Because if you don't receive salvation, you're going to be left for death. Finish that off.
Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
In the end it shall speak and not lie. And this is what we're seeing now. We starting to see, like the brother Yeshaya from out there in West Palm Beach, he said earlier, this seems to be the week of the Charagma. And been nothing but news about the Charagma. Charagma this, Charagma that. Okay? Updates on this, updates on that. These people running out of chips and all this and that. Okay? This is the Lord showing you that we in those end days, man. This is the Lord showing you that the words that he said would happen in the last days come to pass, man. They're raining down upon the earth. The words of the Lord, that is. Okay? Go ahead.
Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry.
Yeah, man. See, starting from the apostles on down, man, this word has been tarrying for a while, but now it's time. Now it's time for it to come to pass, man. Now the days are being made short. Now the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai is moving upon the earth. And it's showing you people that the Lord was not a man that he lied. Okay? Because the words written in the scriptures, okay, are starting to pass on the earth. Whether you want to accept it or not, they are happening. All right? Get that second Ezra 8? Or 15 or 16, whichever one it is.
16 on that.
16. It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Man, see, it said Babylon and Asia, man. You got these so-called Chinese people over there thinking that they about to be next. They over there in that same movement as them guys. We got next. But in all actuality, you're going to receive the same judgment as the whore, man. Mm-hmm. All right. Matter of fact, go to actually read that again, and then after you're done there, hold 2nd Ezra 15 and start at. You're going to hold around like the 46th verse. But just read that again in verse 1.
All right, it's the book of 2nd Ezra 16, verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Mm-hmm.
So jump into 2nd Ezra 15.
Yeah, because what happened in the ancient times? Babylon, the empire during the time of Ezra, eventually fell. And what was Babylon's allies? Egypt, Lydia, and what was the third one?
Babylon.
Well, yeah, right. Salakia. Babylon, Egypt, and Lydia. Those were the three ribs spoken of in Daniel's. What is that? Chapter 7. Okay, verse like 6 or 8 verse. Okay, where it talks about the bear with the 3 ribs in its mouth. Those 3 ribs was Babylon, Lydia, and Egypt. Those were its allies. Okay, so here it is. Ezra is writing this: woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Okay, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Okay, which at this time Asia meaning Asia Minor, because that's where Lydia was at. But this is talking about in its last days as well, because now it's talking about the Far East. Now this is talking about these Moabites, who are calling them, what do they call themselves? The so-called Asians.
Asians, yeah.
Okay, and when anybody says Asians, you don't think about fucking Elam. You don't think about East Indians. You don't think about Russians. You think about the zipperheads, man. All right? That's what you think about. Don't front. Don't be a scoffer. Be real with yourself, man. When you hear the word Asia, who do you think about? So it says, woe be unto thee, Babylon. And who's the modern day Babylon? America. Okay, and we're going to get into the reason why this is saying Babylon and Asia. But continue on.
You can go to that
Verse 2.
Oh, verse 2. It says, gird up yourselves with clothes and sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
Yeah, be sorry for your destruction is at hand. So the destruction is not only coming to America. Now America will be completely destroyed, but the destruction is also coming for these other nations, primarily Asia. Why do you think things are being stirred up with Asia and with Russia? Because these are nations that are going to be, they're going to receive judgment as well. Major destruction. Not destruction like Babylon's going to receive, because everybody's going to turn their back on her. But these other nations are going to receive judgment as well. Okay? Now, you got something, bro?
No, you can keep going.
Okay. Now, I'm going to bring out the bit of this article, and then we're going to go into that 15, starting at verse 46. Because, see, for the longest time now, America and China have been on a race against each other. First, it used to be with Russia, and that was really the race for nuclear weapons. First it was nuclear weapons. Then it was the race into space. Okay. Now it's the same thing again with Russia. Is the race for nuclear arms. But with China, okay, as of recently, I'd say, from 90s, early 2000s and forward, it's been a race of technology with China. Okay? And as we've seen happening on the earth, China has surpassed America in that aspect. They're already working on 6G. They've been working on 6G for a couple of years now. And why have they been doing it? Because they're going to bring they already been having the social
Credit score.
social credit system where you based on how you are as a citizen depends on what you have access to, which is all tying into that Revelation 13, which we're going to get. Okay? But let me read a little bit of this article, because this is the race now that's really should be on the minds of everyone who knows about this truth, man, is the race for this technology. Because as we see more and more things come out with this technology, you're starting to see more and more steps being taken for the charagma to be implemented. Okay? So this is an article off of a website called CBN News. And the article is entitled, "This Big Development in China is Setting Up the World for the Charagma of the Beast." Okay? And as we know, matter of fact, who has that? Yeah, Revelation 13. You hold that second answer. Somebody get Revelation 13.
Kind of want me to read verse 16?
Okay.
Right now. The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
All right, you see? So he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their forehead, all right? So that he cannot buy nor sell. Now, we're going to read a little bit of this in this article, but you should already know what's happening, man. You should already, if you don't know what's happening, man, then you just a bug out, and the Most High don't want you to live. He wants you to receive it. Just like you received that poke. Okay? Because that was a precursor to what's coming. That was a test run to see who would be willing to get something injected into them by nothing but the word of the administrators. Okay?
I got a quick one real quick before you read that. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 9. For we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part should be done away. That's what we just read, Revelation 13 and 16, you know, going to that mark, that no man might buy or sell, but now it's being made manifest. You know, the Lord said that, you read in Habakkuk, the second chapter, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. So like the article the brother's about to go into, you know, that mark is being made manifest.
Yep. Somebody get in Luke where it talks about a trench.
Oh yeah, 18.
He's also put a trench about thee. All right. So let me read a little bit of this article. It says China is on the cusp of launching a digital currency that will give the communists, and then the date on this article is August 9th, which was yesterday this year. China is on the cusp of launching a digital currency that will give the communist regime total control over the Chinese people. The move has huge implications for the rest of the world too. And CBN CEO Gordon Robinson says it's setting us up for the fulfillment of end times prophecy. Here's his analysis as delivered on the 700 Club. Says commentary. Have you ever wondered about the passage in the Bible about a government restricting the population so that you cannot buy or sell unless you have a particular charagma?
And that's the spirit. He said that a government. Because you read prior to the couple verses up from Revelation 13 and 16, it's I believe it basically says exercise the power of the first beast. All right. So this is that same government, the Roman Empire, exactly, the Roman system that's been basically regenerated, reincarnated back today. Okay, so this government, all right, this current system is going to exercise that power, that dominion. Okay, but in this time, as the scripture say in Daniel's, that knowledge shall be increased. And this time now he has the technology to put a tracking device underneath your skin and plant it in you, where he has total control, whether you're able to buy or sell, as the brothers are going to your social credit system. Okay, so you know that's straight on point. That a government, all right, because this is that system. This is that same governing body that's basically has come back 2.0. That wound has been healed. That's been healed. You know?
And you might be asking yourself, well, China's a separate government than America. How can this be the one government? Well, you bozo, that was Esau's actual downfall. Because the world is under this Roman system, but different leaders of different nations have been set up over certain regions. Okay, so that was a part of Esau's downfall, because these other nations have their own ideas of how things should be done. So you have these Moabites who are calling themselves in charge, and they have their own ideas of how things should be brought about and how things should be how certain policies shall be on the earth, and that's why they're trying to bring out their own way. But ultimately, the goal is the same. The earth is controlled by the hands of the wicked. Okay? And I wouldn't put it past those leaders over there in China going back to the line of Esau. Knowing Esau's wicked ass, he's gotten him, he does that with all nations. He goes in and sets himself up, marries a daughter of one of these Moabites, and eventually sets his son up as the ruler of this region. And now we have these Moabites that are calling themselves Jinping or whatever the hell he is. But he's an Edomite. I wouldn't put it past Esau that he did that. Okay? But nonetheless, regardless of whether that's true or not, the earth is in control of the hands of the wicked, Esau, Edom. The earth is under the beast system. The Roman Empire back again. Okay? Which, when you go into the Roman Empire, Esau has certain treaties with other nations, other deals, and eventually that ended up being his downfall as well. Okay? What were they called? The Celtic tribes, okay, the barbarians, certain, other terms, you had the Gauls, the Alamanis, okay, and so on and so forth, that eventually ended up going to war with Rome, which ended up being his downfall, because what happened is Rome had spread out too much of his military power to fight these different tribes, man. And so now here it is again in these last days. Rome is at war amongst his own allies and amongst those that he thought was cool with him, that he set up, because China became the nation they were because of America.
Wax rich.
Yeah, they waxed rich. Revelation 18. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now here it is. They got some type of a hard on. Okay. Excuse me for my brashness, but China thinks they got something now. They got some muscle on them, and they think that they can dictate how things get pushed out.
Got a quick precept for you, Barbershop.
Yep.
This is Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Mm-hmm. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? These heathens are raging. The heathen nations are mad. Okay, it talks about that the nations were mad. Now they're thinking, man, why does he get all the say so? Things should really be done like this. Yeah, no, I think things should be done like this. I think I'll do a better job in his seat. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. It says the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointing, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Yeah, see, now what these other nations are doing is they're going away from that, because they already became confederate against the people of the Lord. But now they're doing that against those that are in charge now. Mm-hmm. Okay, which is Esau, Edom. They're like, yeah, we were cool with this man, but it ain't working out, man. We don't want this man. We don't want this man over us anymore. As a matter of fact, now the nations are saying, how has that become as weak as we are? China surpassed America in technology. Russia surpassed America in military might. And these nations are all coming together for one occasion, to make themselves confederate, so that the name of America may be no more. Okay? This is what these nations are preparing to do. Okay? This is why they all got their own little systems that are coming out. They got the digital yuan, which India just switched up, buying a thing, I believe it's coal from Russia. They're buying it now in digital yuans. They're not, or the yuan. I don't know if it's the digital yuan, but they're buying it in yuans. They're not buying it in dollars no more, because Russia is going away from the dollar because of the sanctions. Okay? But these nations are slowly building up their own little system, because they think what they got going on is what's going to be established. Finish that off?
Yep. Verse 4. It says, "He that sits in the heavens shall laugh; the Lord shall have them in derision."
Yeah, see, the Lord is
them. He said them, plural.
Mhm.
So you got Saudi Arabia want to build that little what is
Long
that?
city,
Yeah, mile long city.
or however long it is.
Yeah, it's basically a one city, one wall, one line. All right, but the heathen is raging, man. But the Lord said He's gonna have you in derision. Right? You think you the next runner up. Especially starting with the Chinese, man, the Moabites and the Russians, and all these countries are gaining some momentum and gaining some ground. Becoming stronger. But that's just all according to prophecy that you can come up against this horde. But you're not the next player up or the next runner up, man. Okay.
So just continuing on in this article here, it says, well, China's move towards a cashless society is the answer. This is where the entire world is literally being set up for that kind of government control. Because again, what Esau does before he implements anything in his own place, he does test runs around the world. All these little skirmishes, these protests that you've seen happen around the earth, these are all setups for Esau to do what he's going to do here in America. So him doing the same thing, stirring up these people over here in China, you thinking that it's they doing some shit on their own. Really, at the end of the day, it all goes back to the elites. Okay? The head leaders of those nations. All right? On the lower level, them guys might think, yeah, we're gonna go to fight against America, but at the end of the day, it all goes back to the ruling class, the wicked that the earth has been given onto, like we said earlier. It's all being done as a test run. They're the ones that are establishing the technology, but it's all ultimately going to be implemented around the whole earth.
Yes, yeah, it's a quick one. In 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, it says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices." Satan going into our adversaries, chiefly so white man Esau, Edom, and the rest of the nations that are joining in with them. We're not ignorant of his devices because we see him. We're watching him. Like the saying goes, keep your friends closer, enemies closer. Well, we're watching nigga every single day, going through articles because we're predicting his movement, because we know what his strength is. We know what his best move is. His secret weapon is he wants to chip everybody, and that's what we're watching, because that's it's going to a sad thing about a boxing match. He's trying to disguise his move. He's trying to set you up for what he wants to do, which is give you the right hand or whatever. He's left hand or hook or whatever his move is. He wants to set you up so you're not thinking that move's coming, so you get blindsided, And going into the Lord's servants prophets, we revealing this man, of course, again through the Spirit of the Lord, that we're not ignorant of what he's doing. He wants again to chip the whole world, and that's how he's going to pretty much put his foot down as being a ruler of the earth, by this carnal device which he intends to chip everybody with, at MOTV,
I got some. Job 5, just to add on, Job 5 and 12, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Okay, and that disappointment is coming by the way of division, all right, amongst these particular leaders in their own family.
Yeah, because that's what stops, we're going to his new order. The thing that's holding him back is the lack of cooperation. And not everybody is wanting to cooperate what his plan is. He's laying the shit out, and they're not wanting to deal with it, and that's going into these heathens raging because they think they got something better to do,
Yahushua said it best in the book of Mark. He said, if Satan be divided against Satan, how can that house stand? But it have an end. And we're living in the end times of Esau, Edom ruling, and what greater way but to have division amongst themselves, man. So once again, Job 5 and 12 and verse 13, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty. So going back into Psalms 2, the Lord is going to have you nations in derision. All right, you're going to want to have your foot on the gas when it comes down to pushing this, but then you're going to have uproars amongst the people. The scriptures speak about 2/3 of our people coming up against them, man. All right, that's part of that wicked. All right, and then ultimately the other nations, all right, trying to establish their things. World War III. All right, the Lord is going to disappoint this man. All right, it says, verse 13, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. All right, so your own counsel, all right, it's going to cause your destruction. Why? Because it's not meeting the counsel of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. According to Daniel, the 7th chapter, the 27th verse. All right, it says all nations shall serve and obey him. All right, and that was towards the end of all these heathen nations ruling, man. All right, the kingdom of heaven being set on the planet Earth.
This new world order is pretty much going into, as we say, no new thing under the sun. It's a similitude of the Tower of Babel. You know, at first the whole idea was a one world order, and ultimately what was the one world order under the ban of being an adversary against the Lord, building that tower up to the heavens so they can make war against the Lord.
Right.
And that's what. Go ahead.
And real quick, just to interject real quick, to escape the judgment.
Exactly.
Because they were like, let us build a tower so we can escape the flood if it ever comes again.
And that's the image.
Right.
The imagery. Now, are they technically building one tower today, like as they did in old? Physically, no. But that image, that weight, that bringing, because they want to centralize everything, bring everything. Exactly, bring everything under one government, one banking system, one religion, one God.
Not the Lord, but one power.
Exactly, one power, one. Build, the whole Build Back Better is one. That's why they centralizing everything. But it's that image that they're trying to duplicate, if you will, from the Tower of Babel. It's basically bringing everybody under one umbrella, so to say.
Like the brother said, against the Most High.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why the Lord's confounding it. Like he did then, it's not going to mix, it's not going to work. Somehow, some way it didn't go into detail, but says they didn't speak the one language no more. You can take it similar as they're not on the same page no more.
And it's funny because back then the Lord confused the nations by separating the languages, but now the Lord's getting ready to bring back everybody to be under one language, which is going to be the Hebrew. But it's all going to be now under righteous order. That's going to be the difference.
Can I get one real quick? This is Psalms 33 in verse 10 and verse 11. I'm going to start verse 9. For he spake and it was done. He commanded and it stood fast. The Lord Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. The counsel of Yahweh Bashem El Shai standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. So the counsel of the heathen is going to come to naught. There's nowhere in biblical prophecy of Esau, Edom having an extension of time. The scriptures say in the book of Job 14, he has a bound he can't pass, man. So there is no such thing as an establishment of a one world government under wickedness, man. We're reading about how multiple nations came up and got destroyed, man. All right, but the greatest destruction is reserved for the wicked in the book of Proverbs 16, and that's the times that we're living in, man.
Right, you got something?
No, you can finish that. I'll just add on to it, kind of like.
So going back to this article, it says the Chinese government is pushing ahead on many fronts to restrict what its population can and cannot do, which is going playing right into that Revelation 13 and 16. Okay, causes all, both small and great, to receive a mark, so that no man can buy or sell. All right, which is going into transactions. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What they can and what cannot do. What was that?
Can neither buy nor sell, save he that had the correct. The article.
It said what it can and cannot do.
Yeah, it says the Chinese government is pushing ahead on many fronts to restrict what its population can and cannot do.
And that's that draconian, that draconian, speak as a lamb, is dragging that draconian laws and draconian measures, like you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
All right, and then it's gonna get to the point where it's straight communism, dictatorship, where it's through the penalty of death. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna get real draconian. Like, hey, if you don't do this or don't do that, ultimately, the end goal is, hey, if you don't get this chip, it's like you don't get this charagma, okay, you're gonna basically be put to death. Okay, that's what it's gonna get to that extent. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
No, just
You had a precept?
Earlier,
Okay. So it says all you have to do is look at what's happened in Hong Kong over the past just 2 years, and you get a very clear picture of where they're going. But they want to control, and they're doing it right now with social credit scoring, where if you don't score a particular way, you're not allowed to travel. That's already in place. Which you also got other things like cashless grocery stores, cashless stores, where if you don't got cash, you can't come here. Or if you don't got, if you have cash, you can't come here. Okay? Which a lot of people still got cash. Especially in China, where the wealth disparity is huge. Some of these poor nations, they don't got digital shit. They still fucking working by hand, building huts and building their own houses. But as the world continues to grow, so to say, things are being forced away from the old way to the new. Okay? And the new way is what? The image of the beast. Okay? That he may call, matter of fact, who has that Revelation 13? Read that verse 15.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Yeah, see, so if you don't want to get with the system, if you don't want to get with the program, you can't just live an outside life. You can't just live in off the grid. I'm just living in off the offskirts of the cities and build my own home, have my own farm, live in this little town and just do these, get cash and, sell my product, get cash, go to, and buy these things that I need from just this little town. You can't do that no more. Now you're seeing electricity poles getting built out to the tops of mountains, man. You've been seeing that for years. Places that didn't have Wi-Fi now got Wi-Fi.
He's trying to put you on a grid.
And that's a part of causing the image, the image of the beast to speak. Okay? The way the image is speaking is how? By these things coming to fruition. These certain, like the brother said, the draconian laws causing people to move a certain way. You can't go to these grocery stores and use cash no more. We only accept credit or some type of digital payment form. That's why they've been putting your cards on your phones, putting a chip on your cards. So all you got to do is tap and go.
That's why you see a lot of these mom and pop shops. They really like cash. They don't, because why? When they use Visa fees exactly, the Visa fees and this and that. So I can account just how many times where the mom and pop, whether it's Issachar, cash only, Benjamin, cash only, and I forgot what the spot, but basically those privately owned, there's another breakfast spot, it's cash only. Because why? They don't want, like the brother said, the Visa fees. They go to the bank, it's fees they gotta pay. Then Esau is actually able to track them on how much money the business is producing.
Yeah, the silver store we go to do only take cash.
Exactly, man. So Esau's trying to do away with that. That's why he's only when the recession get in, aka the pandemic, he was only bailing out the major corporations, let the mom and pop shops go under. Go under, because why? They the ones that's using cash. He wants to be able to control, and basically keep track of how much money they're making. Right. But with cash, he can't do that.
And that's the thing where it's leading on to is it causes all that would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. So as we see, you kill a man by taking his food away. A man, you take away a man's ability to make money, his livelihood, you basically killing the man. Okay, so that's what Esau is doing. He's causing these companies to close up. That's why you can try to keep doing cashless, but you're gonna hurt because you can't buy nothing with that cash. Soon your banks ain't even gonna take cash no more. So what deposit you gonna put in? I'm like, bro, there ain't no deposit option no more on the ATM. The bank's gonna be the bank robot, because niggas at the bank ain't even gonna work there. The bank robot's gonna tell you, sorry, we don't accept cash.
They don't have straps.
You gotta take it to the central bank and convert it to digital currency.
Yep. Because that's what they're doing in China. Speaking about China, they say every digital dollar they create, they have to get rid of an actual physical dollar. You know what I'm saying?
And here in America, you've been seeing a lot of these Bitcoin ATMs coming up, or these digital currency ATMs, where you go and you turn in your cash and you get a value of it in digital currency, which most of them say Bitcoins or some other type of form. You see them at the grocery store at the downtown over here, and I've seen them all over the place. I've seen it in a fucking ghetto ass gas station in Miami. So what they trying to do is get away from the cash, get away from the untraceable, so that they can trace everything. This is the whole thing with 5G, with China trying to get to 6G. You have to have a system in place to harvest and move all this data instantaneously, because that's ultimately what they're going towards. A one world government where the all-seeing eye sees everything. Okay?
Big brother.
Yeah, big brother.
That's what they call
I'm just bringing this up. I'm not going to go too far in the article, but the title of it says, Digital ID Tyranny is being rolled out across the world. So like you're just going to, he calls it all, so this is a worldwide thing, you know. And just real quick, on that word tyranny, it says a form of government in which the ruler is an absolute dictator, not restricted by a constitution or laws or opposition. And so that's what they rolling out with that digital identity, man. They bring it through, you know, military might. What they say with the scandemic, how they like how they make it to a crisis, basically.
Pandemic.
Yeah, like that. But it's another word for it. I can't think of it, you know. But basically, like they're making it worse than what it really is, you know, just to get people
exaggerating.
Yeah, basically that's what I'm trying to say, but it's another word for it, you know. But that's what they're doing, man. You know, with that tyranny of government. So it's pretty much a worldwide thing. And I'm just reading a little bit of this. It says, as of May, the program had already gone live in 5 grocery stores. This is going into the MasterCard program, going live in 5 grocery stores.
So like which they did that in some of the nations in South America.
Yep.
I think Brazil
Yep.
was one of them. Argentina might have been another one.
They say Brazil, Sao Paulo.
Yeah, which is the chief city of Brazil.
Okay, then it
Sao
says
Paulo.
Asia and the Middle East. And MasterCard said they plan to roll it out globally later this year. Then you got the Australian, got they thing going on. It's a couple different places on here. It said Canada. Dutch bank CEO proposes turning carbon usage into a tokenized commodity.
Which is the carbon footprint shit. Which again, tying into the system, you're only allowed to consume so much. Okay, you gotta put in to get something out. Just like you gotta put into the system so that you can get some of those credits. Okay, which again, this is all coming to the world. This isn't just coming to China. This isn't just coming to America. The hour of temptation, it says, is coming to the whole earth. Revelation 3:10.
Let me get that real quick.
Yeah, get that real quick.
Real quick, Revelation 3:10, brother quoted it, and it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world.
There you go. Somebody get 2 Ezra 15 and 14. The hour of temptation is coming to the whole world. What's the hour of temptation? The hour of temptation is whether you're going to get this charagma or not. Whether you're going to get the CHIP to be entwined with the system so that you may be able to buy and sell. That's going to be the hour of temptation, because if you don't get it, you're going to be going through some things. You're going to be wondering, how am I going to get my next meal? How am I going to keep food on the table for my family? How am I going to be able to provide for my family or even myself? That's the hour of temptation that's going to approach to the whole world, and we see it happening, man. Okay, whoever got that.
It's the book of 2 Ezra 15, starting at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
Right, and that's what's coming. We read Revelation 13 and 15, causes all that would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed, man. So these people that are not wanting to get with the system, they're gonna be shown or portrayed as the enemies, as contrary to the system, and the cause of why these things are happening on the earth. Why you guys all been struggling? Look at the poor. Look at all these people that are poor and starving to death. It's because they don't want to get with it.
Yeah. Real quick, because the brother making a good point. Because you go into that word "world" in Revelation 3:10, which shall come upon all the world. It's not talking about cosmos. It's not talking about eon. Exactly, the water. It's oikomen. So it's something physical that's going to actually take place and affect the whole world, because the word "world" there is exactly. The inhabited earth, which we was going into. Point B, the Roman Empire, all the subjects of the empire. Are we not subjects to the system, subject to this government? Okay, the Roman Empire, what, they conquered the whole known world at that time. So now, you know, Rome 2.0, okay, the whole world, the actual world. Esau, he now has dominion over the whole planet, starting with his elites, talking about his elites, man. Okay, so this is something physical that's going to take place on everybody that inhabits the earth, everybody that on subjects, and we know that elites, they own everybody and everything. That's why we all have social security numbers. Okay, so we are all subjects. The water, we pay taxes. We are all subjects to this government body. Okay,
and skip down to verse 19, Brother Bashar, because when you can't buy or sell, what are you going to resort to do? If you ain't plugged into the system, you got to do something. Well, get that verse 19.
Kind. Second Ezra 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Yeah, see, there ain't gonna be, again, this is all a man-made famine that we seeing happening, man. These so-called shortages, these are man-made, so that when the time comes, the strain is so much on the people that they're gonna be forced. It's gonna cause the people to want to get with the system, to get that Quran. So now the people that are still in their mindset, man, I ain't going with that. I've seen with the guy, I don't trust the government. I don't this and that, which is again going into the sedition spoken of in verse 15 of that chapter 15, 2nd Ezra. But the 16, that violence, okay, that's coming upon the whole earth is because of the lack of bread. Because people ain't able to buy it. There's gonna be a big portion that are against this shit, man. And we see that happening. We saw the pushback that came about with the Crown Victoria Vicky. Okay? We saw that push back against that.
Yeah. So basically they have to convert.
Right.
They have to convert. As we trying to convert people to this gospel, Esau is doing the same thing. He has to convert them over to accepting his new world agenda, because he has already given them this constitution. He given, you know, every American has the right to basically pursue happiness and freedom and so on and so forth. Okay, so now he has to do away with that one gospel we had. And now he has to convert you over to the new gospel, and he tries to be like the Most High, use the same tactics. Fear.
Yep.
You know, he has to now convert you to this new world religion. He has to sell it to you. You have to convert it, and the way he's going to do it, like the brother said, the lack of bread, the famine, the fear. That's why you got all these pestilence. You're gonna be tired of all these. It's something new popping up. The monkey business.
People killing each other.
You know, so he's going to convert you, man, to accept his new world order. You know,
He's the false prophet.
Right. Yeah.
hey, spirit.
Exactly.
You know, going into that word cause it, all right, going into what to make ready, to prepare. That's what we see. You saw him doing, all right. He's preparing, all right, the people to take this Quran, all right, when he's getting ready to present it, all right, to the whole world. Just want to make that quick point.
And how you making them ready? The word I was looking for is weaponized. He weaponized these crises and these pestilence and plagues. You know, he using it against you, against your mind, making you ready.
That's right.
Which goes into the word terrorist. Which is why when you go into the word, the true etymology of the word terrorist is a government that brings fear upon the people. An individual can't be a terrorist. An individual can just be a degenerate, just fucking going around raping people or causing some type of fear, but eventually he gets taken down. You can't take down a government as an individual. The government can bring down fear upon the people and cause the people to change their ways, to adhere to what the government is pushing. That's a terrorist. Through terror. And what the Lord said, like the brother said, he's trying to be like the Most High. Through the terror of the Lord, we persuade many.
Exactly.
So Esau's through the fear of him and what he can cause you or cause to happen to you, he's persuading men. He causes all, both small and great, through that terror of what the consequences might be. Okay, Quan, you have something?
No, I'm just agreeing. That's a beautiful point, you know, and also too, like the elders been hitting on the gradualism. He's gradually presenting it to the people. He's gradually preparing it before your face, man. You know, and that's why certain articles come out. We hop on it because other nations is down with the program as well too, man. You know.
Come on, real quick, because the brother spoke on something which is scriptural. It's St. Matthew's 10 and 28. It says, "And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell."
Right, which is at the end of the day, the only ones that aren't going to fear Esau and what is to come of not getting with his image is the men of the Lord. Yeah, exactly. Now you're gonna have other people that are gonna be like, "Oh, I ain't gonna get it," but hey, they're gonna come to that point to where they're gonna be like, "Man, I don't need it.
Yeah, exactly.
I need it."
The temptation, man. Because that's what it's all about. We read Revelation 3 and 10. The hour of temptation, aka another term for that, Jacob's trouble. Okay. But he shall be saved out of it. Why? Because the Lord is going to be with some men, and elect a number of men, that he's going to allow to escape that temptation.
Right.
All right.
And rightfully so, it being called Jacob's trouble is because the main people that Esau Edom is coming after is Jacob, the Israelites. So that in hopes that if he can defile the woman, okay, which is the elect of Israel, if he can just defile the elect, he can get his blessing, because now the Israel's got to be done. They all got to be destroyed. And now Esau, since he's already filling his belly, well, now he's got to live out the rest of his dinner that he's got. Oh, I didn't defile the whore, or I didn't defile the virgin, which is the elect. Well, now I can continue to live it up until these people are reborn again, come back. They got to be raised up. They got to learn. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. This is it for you, Esau. The virgin is not going to be defiled. You done defiled us, man. The people of the Lord have been defiled, and I'm talking about the elect. Okay, the Israel of Israel. We've been defiled, man. We was in the world, and the Lord called us up out of it. We heard his call. We came back to the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The Lord woke us up to the devil that you are. We see through your deception. Okay? We're persuaded through the fear of the Lord, not by your fear, man.
Exactly.
The way the men of the Lord move is not through what you say and what you dictate on the earth, Esau, because we know that, again, going back to the preach of the brother read, that there's one greater than you.
Exactly, man. And that's what Esau don't want you to know. That's why the breakdowns of the chariots, that's another, important aspect of knowing that. Because Esau fears that. The chariots. But if you know that, hey, the chariots are the angels, the Most High, and that's who Esau fears.
Right.
That's the big, it's somebody higher than him. Like the brother said, somebody higher than him. It's somebody over him. So why fear him? And that's what Esau never wants you to know. He never wants you to know that it's somebody above him, which is why he gave you his bullshit science. It ain't no God. It ain't none of that.
Yep.
If it is a God, I'm him. Because he wants you to fear him and not fear the Most High.
That's why he has all these different religious groups out here, man, to cause confusion amongst the religions, amongst what's really true. Because if he can say, well, there's all these, everybody got their own religion, everybody believes in a God, it don't mean he really exists. It's just everybody got their own story, but really there's only one power, man. It's just you diluted and you defiled the minds of so many people that people don't know what to believe in.
Exactly.
But the Lord has raised up his men. That's why you're standing in fear, Esau.
Yeah.
That's why you're afraid. That's why you so wholeheartedly come up against us and delete our videos, ban our channels, delete our channels. And eventually it's going to get to the point where you're going to come after us. And it's okay. You can do that. Because it's just revealing unto the world who the men of the Lord really are. 2 Ezra 16. Then shall they know who are my chosen. because you're going to come up against us. You ain't coming up against the Christians. You ain't coming up against the Muslims or the Buddhists or the Hindus. But you coming up against the so-called, the ones that you deem the black Hebrew Israelites.
Exactly. The Muslims who you claim to be blowing up your buildings and shit. Why your focus ain't on them? But your focus on some men that just read scriptures. All right, which is why you set up your agents amongst other camps to post up with AK-47s and assault rifles. That's why you have to do that. Because you know the true man of the Lord, they're obeying the voice of Yahweh Shai, man. He said, be ye, harmless as doves, wise as serpents. Okay, those are the true man moving. So you got to set your agents amongst I'm going to use how they say the movement. You got to set your agents amongst, all right, the community of Israel. Why? Because you know the true man of the Lord we ain't moving like that. Okay? We moving straight in the spirit, and you know, man. That's why you push your demonization campaign. Okay? Because you really want, as the brother said, you really want the Israelites. Everybody else is just casualties of war. All right? Poverty, with that one video he say, poverty-stricken white folks. You don't care about them, man. Those are just pawns that you don't mind losing, all to gain, all to try to obtain and deceive the elect. Once again, deception. You're not going to deceive if it was possible. You're not going to be able to deceive the elect. Okay? They're not going to believe in all your bullshit, no matter how much fear and torment and chaos you come with. You're not going to be able to deceive them.
All right, what's that scripture I have reserved unto me 7,000
Yeah,
men, but not have
they haven't worshipped the image.
Right.
Basically saying who not have bowed to the image of Baal is basically saying they haven't worshipped the image. You feel what I'm saying? Because the bow to the image of Baal, that's you worshiping them.
Right.
Okay? So I got real quick, Bubble Show.
Brothers get, yeah.
Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, so distress unto the inhabitants, destruction unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, all right, and we know what the devil is, because why I say deceive them who receive the mark. So who's implementing or prescribing this Quran?
Yeah.
The devil. Trying to convince you that this is what you need. So it's self-explanatory. We know who you are, man.
Same thing as the garden. That's why in Revelation 20 says that old serpent, the devil. Okay, because he was that same spirit back in the garden that deceived the woman. Which again, he's trying to deceive the woman again.
Exactly.
We said earlier the woman is Israel. Okay.
Yeah. It says, for the devil has come down onto you. So we see him coming down. You know, it was, you had your fun at one point, man. You was able to be free. But shit, after 2019, 2020 hit, this man came down. Okay? He came down and he just keep getting lower and lower and lower. It says, the devil has come down to you, the deceiver has come down to you, having great wrath, man. Okay? It's all the monkey business, man, come on, man. This dude is he's just getting started. He's just getting started, man. We ain't seen nothing yet, man. Okay? It says, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So he has to convince you. All right? It's going to come a point in time, I don't got time to try to, do this paperwork and the patience and trying to, like, I forgot, one of you brothers said he receiving a resistance, man. It might have been Mike Oliver. He's receiving a great resistance, man. It's not working. So he's going to have to come down with great wrath because his time is so short, and that's when he's going to show his full-on horns, man.
Yeah, people are going to get so people are going to be so overwhelmed with the violence that they're going to have. There's only one. This one solution is let's just surrender ourselves over to him and just get that peace, which is that sudden destruction that's going to come afterwards.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, we just it's too much chaos out here. I got my kids, I got my woman. You know, it's just too much out here. Again, going into the great violence, and for the lack of bread, it's just too much. Honey, we got to be a part of this.
Yeah, because Esau's problem is he's trying to say something that you really don't need. You don't need the chip. He's making this whole scenario up. He's forcing, the need for it. This is his type of his type of marketing he's doing. So there's no demand for it. So he's gonna make a demand for it, creating violence, making confusion, all this stuff. Like, you don't need a 2,000-inch TV with a 37 home speaker in a one-bedroom apartment. So Esau said he makes a scenario so hey, you do need this.
Hey, that's why the foolish are gonna take it.
That's right.
You come home and bring, like the brother gave the example, that big ass TV, bro. You don't need that. You fool. Why you allow this man to sell you this shit and you don't need it? You a fucking fool, man. You feel what I'm saying? So the foolish are going to take it. That's why the parable of the foolish version, the wise versions, the wise versions know that, hey, they know to break down the Revelation 13 and 16. But the foolish versions, what they call it Christianity, an embargo, everything other than what it actually is. So go ahead and allow you foolish versions, go ahead and allow that devil to sell you the 30-inch TV that you don't need. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you remember those balance bands they had? Like,
Titanium.
It's like, bro, you didn't know you needed to. You watched the commercial,
Yeah.
and niggas told you something that shit don't even work. Put your arm down, it worked. You just stretching your arm, bro.
What he made you believe?
Exactly.
That's the point. He made you believe that you needed it or that it worked.
Yeah, them baseball niggas, man. I remember that shit back in high school. Motherfuckers put it on their throwing hand, had the necklaces, had the wristbands.
That's the power.
Motherfuckers would have bought the cock rings if it fucking they thought it would work for that too. Put that on, Jesus, got titanium, baby. Because hey, Jake is simple, man. Our people is as simple as can be, man. Jake, because what? Jake is always seeking something greater. So when they see the latest and greatest thing coming out, they're like, oh shit, I gotta have that.
I can cut my car on.
You know, Jake was wanting to get the little push the start shit. Now they're gonna be just wave your hand at the car and that bitch will turn on. Or whatever. Come close.
Till they see that grievous wound.
That sore.
That's
It's pulsating. But it's got its own heartbeat.
That Revelation 16, if you don't know what we're talking about,
Yeah, Revelation 14 and 9 coming. Listen, man, finish off the thing, man.
Yep. Let me get a little bit more on this article and then we'll get closer to precepts. It says, that's what digital currency allows a government to do. And if you think it's going to happen in China, think again. The Federal Reserve already has a study group looking at a digital currency for the United States, which you go beyond the Federal Reserve. Okay, you go to the IMF. Okay, you go to the Swedish I forget what it's called, but it's the bank of the banks. It's the bank for the banks. I forget what it's called. If I can remember, I'll put it in the description box. It's like Swedish something. It's a big bank. It's the bank that loans the money to the central banks. But it says why are they doing that? Because they're afraid China will usurp the U.S. and become the world currency. That digital currency is taking over, which that's not the reason. On a lower level, it is. That's the mindset of these people. Is like, oh, America's going against China, but ultimately, it's all the same system being pushed out to the whole earth. It's the same agenda, Agenda 2030, Agenda 2025. It's all the same shit. Every nation has their own way of bringing it out because on a lower level, the ones that are implementing it have, they're on a lower level. They don't really know the ultimate goal. They just know this is what we need to push. Okay? But at the end of the day, this is coming to the whole world, not just China, not just America. It says, so you see all the action happening in the stock markets, the various markets for Bitcoin and other digital currencies, the rapid rise and people becoming overnight billionaires based on the value of this digital currencies, And so the Federal Reserve wants to get in on that action to protect the U.S. dollar as a world currency, which is now what are you seeing? Now you're seeing the devaluing of these digital currencies. Okay? These Bitcoins, and all these other BSs, man. They ain't worth shit right now. All these people that day was coming up, they lost out. And now what's coming up is what? That system. Okay, the digital, what do they call it? CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, man. It's going to become centralized, whereas Bitcoin was decentralized. There was no control over it. Now it's becoming centralized. There's going to be a control over money's coming in and money's going out. They call it the patent 060606, a patent that Microsoft came out with, okay, that shows you the way that this system's going to work. You got the server A, you got the cloud, which is the 5G or 6G network, whatever the hell you want to call it, and then you have the device and the reader that's going to be the charagma in you, man. And it's going to tell them by your actions through bodily human actions, everything about you is going to have your information, your bank systems, your health records, and it's going to communicate that to the internet highway, the Internet of Things, and it's going to send it to either the servers at the banks or the servers at the grocery stores or wherever the hell else you go spend your money at. And it's going to tell them, okay, this man got this amount of money, this man is allowed here, this man is not allowed here.
And it's not far-fetched. Why do you think you gotta pay taxes at the end and they'll file for taxes? Basically, you reporting how much money you made that year. So now, to get rid of the paperwork, like the brother's going into, shit. Now they got it. It's like this. Okay, he made this amount of money this year. He made this amount of money this year. She made this amount of money this year. Okay. So it ain't, they just got to make the connection, man. They do away with the old system and come with the new. It's plain to the, as Chris say, to the wise those revealed to, but,
And real quick, I just remembered the bank of the banks is called the Bank of International Settlements. You want to look more into that? Look them up. The Bank of International Settlements. They're the ones that supply the central banks with the money that they get. All right. The Bank of International Settlements. It says a purpose, central bank cooperation. Type international financial institution. They were, established in 1930, man. Which who knows, they probably set up before that. That's just when they were officially called as that. They were probably known as something else before that. But brothers got some closing precepts?
Yeah. This is I got some real quick. Job chapter 12 and verse 16. And it reads, with him is strength and wisdom, the deceived and the deceiver are his. So if you are deceived by the whole agenda of the elites, then you in the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. You in his hand. All right? Or if you are the deceiver issuing out the plot, man, it's ultimately going back to Yahweh Shem Shai, man. And that's just the time that we live in. But in Psalms it says he's going to keep us alive in family. He's going to keep us in the time of tribulation, He's going to keep us from that hour. So, those men.
All right, I got Isaiah chapter 10, and at the top of it say, woe upon tyrants, that's going into these wicked governments. The brother was going into, to be a terrorist, you got to have power, one of these governments. So, woe unto them that, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So that's pretty much what they're doing by weaponizing these crises and, collapsing the dollar with this hyperinflation. Those are unrighteous decrees. Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. So that's ultimately, going to the time of Jacob's trouble, because the Lord using, Esau, Edom to come down, ultimately upon the whole earth. But that trouble is pinpointed for Jake, man. To separate the wicked from the righteous, man. So ultimately, the brothers going into it. Hey, if you be deceived and like you just read, the deceived and the deceiver both belong to the Lord. If you be deceived into getting that MARK, you got to pay for that with your salvation, man. So there's gonna be a lot of people that just like Esau gave away his birthright. amen, Jake, you know, will give away their salvation by taking that Quran.
He's coming down with vengeance. Like the brother said, Esau gave away his, well, he's trying to supplant you. As your forefathers did him back in the days, he's trying to supplant you and take yours for you, man. You know? Yeah.
Which real quick, I got this off of the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements. This is off their website. This is called Project Dunbar, International Settlements Using Multi-CBDCs. It says Project Dunbar developed 2 prototypes for a shared platform that could enable international settlements using digital currencies issued by multiple central banks. Which again, you got the Central Bank of Hong Kong, the Central Bank of Iran, the Central Bank of America. Okay? It says the platform was designed to facilitate direct cross-border transactions between financial institutes and different currencies with the potential to cut costs and increase speed. Now, what is that facilitator of international currencies right now is known as the SWIFT system. Okay, the SWIFT monetary system, which is a lot of these nations are involved in this because that's the way that these nations make their transactions. So when Russia wants to buy something from America, they go through that SWIFT system to do the middleman work to then transfer the money over. So it's almost like a middleman of handling the money, which if you even remember at the beginning of the whole Ukraine invasion, the SWIFT system kicked Russia off of it. They kicked Russia out of the SWIFT system. This is why Russia has been going away from the dollar. They've been building it for years because they knew eventually what was going to come. But now they've been setting themselves up doing deals outside of the dollar because that's basically the currency of the world. And the SWIFT system helps helps facilitate those transactions from converting from whatever the yuan or whatever the hell currency you got to transfer it over to US dollars to then complete your transaction of buying oil or grains from these other countries. Okay? So now what they're doing, they got Project Dunbar, which is using digital currencies, man. And this is on the Business of International Settlements page, man. So again, like I just mentioned the brother, doing this in plain view, man. Plain view for everybody to see. But again, what our people are worried about is what? Fucking Tom Brady, LeBron James, Tiger Woods, and the bitch next to them. That's what they worried about. They ain't worried about what's actually happening on the earth. Our people don't even give a damn about what's happening with Ukraine, Russia, and all international, global geopolitics. They don't care about that, man. That's why our people aren't in the place they're in, man, because they don't care. Because if they did, you would try to get up out of the situation that you're in because you understand the trap that you're in. And that's all this system is a trap to ensnare you. That's why Edom is known as the fowler in the scriptures. And the ultimate trap that Esau's setting out for you is this money. And that money is going to ultimately lead you to wanting to get that charagma because you're used to a certain lifestyle. You're used to getting that bag. So you got to continue to get that bag. You can't continue to get the bag if you're not a part of the beast system that Esau is getting ready to push out, man. You have something, Chicago?
Yeah, real quick. Brother Brock quoted Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. You know, so this is time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, those that's basically has been at the mercies of the system. Okay, this whole time we've been over here. Okay, but hey, now the Lord has returned back onto us, and now we're subject. Hey, we have hope in. All right, this devil. Okay, he has no longer control over us no more, man. Okay, it says, for it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck. And it started in the spirit. That yoke being broken off our neck, like, we don't need you, man. We have a power. We don't believe in you no more. You're not. We don't view you as God no more. Okay, that stronghold of you the supreme being, man. Yeah, so-called white man. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, he got everything on lock. You can't fuck with him. Nah, man. That's it. That's over with the elect, I should say. It says, now will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. But they shall serve Yahweh, their power, and David, their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. Okay? And that's starting on this side, man. Sure. You devils, man. The Lord's giving us a peace of mind. Okay? So, you know, and we seeing it. You started with your pandemics. We want shooken up, we weren't afraid. All right? We were straight, we saw what you was doing. Oh, I'm gonna lose my job. But no, we weren't in that spirit. Okay? And whatever else you come with, the Lord's gonna be with us and sup with us again. Whatever it is that you come with, because we already know. The salvation is here, man. We mentally, it starts in the mind, man. All right?
Anybody got anything else? You know, hey, so, you know, hey, we coming down to the wire, man.
For real.
Esau Edom is coming down with the hammer, but we understand that the hammer is going to be broken. How is the hammer of the earth broken asunder? Okay, we understand that that's what's getting ready to come. The other nations see it coming. There's only you fucking clowns here in America that believe this shit's going to continue on, man. You know, you Edomites, you're done. You've been weighed, you've been measured, and you've been found wanting. It's only a matter of time before that silent kill comes. And that's always the punch that knocks you out. It's the one that you don't see coming.
Yeah. You know, you labor so hard for a plot, for a plan, and then somebody just call you out on it. And you're like, damn, man, I worked so hard to you know, to get this thing set up, to trap you with it, and you just call me out. You know what I'm gonna do? This is basically what's happening. You done labored and worked so hard, and you put so much work in to declare a new world order, and we sit back and call you out. So psychologically already, man, we got you.
Yeah, you lost.
You lost. Because we already see everything that you about to do. But they still go through with it. You still gonna go through with it. You still gonna try to do it. But man, look, we already see it. Why do it? You gonna do it anyways, but man, we let you know we already see it, and call Allah how much you're inside for revealing his secrets unto his servants. That's where it all leads to. We didn't just come up with this because we just so witty, you know. No, the Lord Yahweh Shai revealed this unto us because this is the time where he's about to redeem his people. All right, starting with his elect, he's about to redeem his elect, man, from your snares, man. As I say, that the fowler, he's trying to catch us. He's trying to catch us in you know, in this trap. Well, hey, man, we about to escape through the spirit of power Yahweh Shai, man. So do what you got to do.
Yeah, like the scripture saying in Psalms, you know, deliver us from the snare of the fowler. You know, and the Lord is going to come through, because this is not of us. Our deliverance, the escaping of this time that's getting ready to come is not going to be because we're doing something of ourselves. It's going to be of the Lord's mercies. Like the brother always goes into, the brother Kanakla, is that divine intervention that's getting ready to come upon the earth. The Lord is going to do a working in our days. Okay, and you people are going to marvel at it. Okay, anything else, brothers? So, hey, you know, Lord's will is edifying. We want to give all the praises and glory unto
Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Chakodash.
the honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and with blessing and citations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, who are diligently pushing out his truth and his truth and sincerity. With that, we say Shalom.
Shalom.